G'day guys, and today I wanted to give you my first thoughts on the AFL 23 game. Now I'm sure a lot of people know how poorly it's released with a lot of bugs, glitches and everything in between. I'm incredibly disappointed with the way it released, and I think there's a patch coming out tomorrow to fix a lot of the problem. By the way, sorry about the stream overlay, I've just got it ready for tomorrow's stream and I just thought I'd record and just give you first impressions. But basically, I am incredibly disappointed with the way it's released, and like I said, tomorrow's going to be a new patch, and I just don't think they can fix all the problems with the game. The amount of problems that I've seen from playing in day one, I'm incredibly disappointed. I know that to be honest, it's not. In my opinion, it's not a huge improvement from the other previous games. From what I've seen, there are a couple of graphical things that are a little bit better, and I do agree that a lot of the players do look quite good. But the amount of times I've played career mode in the first few, I played 2 games, I think, and I just am so dumbfounded by the fact that I played for the Sydney Swans as the career mode or whatever it was, and John Longmire kept on being this bald bloke who I think was a goal umpire, and then every single time he joined back into the game, it was just like before the game would go to the second quarter or whatever, it would turn to the goal umpire. Like, it was just ridiculous. I don't know what. Now, I know this game got delayed by about a month because of, I think it was the Xbox having a distribution issue, but I don't know why they just didn't delay it more instead of pushing this half-baked game out. It's incredibly buggy. The game doesn't even run very well, in my opinion. I haven't even tried the online yet, but if they want to release pro teams, which is like the FIFA version or whatever, FIFA Ultimate Team or whatever, they can't release it in this state. There's so many problems with the game. They can't include a new mode that has microtransactions in it, trying to make money for it. I think it can't be done. This game is in such a shocking spot, and I've seen so many other content creators out there, and look, they can have their own opinion, but no way are they having a huge better experience than what I've had. The amount of times that you see a player score a goal, and when they start celebrating, the player that they're celebrating with is the exact same height. I saw Buddy Franklin celebrating next to Justin McInerney, and they were the exact same height on the celebration. Like, that's ridiculous. And another thing about the gameplay is, I know that I didn't play online, so I don't know, but there's no skill involved in playing the game. I played the hardest difficulty. If you go check out, there's a live VOD of when I've been playing this game. You could see I was playing on the hardest difficulty, and I didn't see any sort of difference really, except the fact that the opposition team, if they have the ball, they move quicker with a harder difficulty. There's no difference of skill of them chasing you down. I even had a point in the game where I ran to the goal square and stood there for a solid 10 seconds, and no opponent player, computer player, would come up and tackle me in the hardest difficulty. Like, that's not a game-breaking bug. That's how they released the game. And I get there'll probably be some people on here saying, oh, they don't have as much money as FIFA and stuff. And yes, they don't. But they don't. Why would they release a game like this? This is ridiculous. Changing the difficulty in a game should be a different sort of skill. You have to be better at the game. Not just making it, if they have the ball, they move quicker with it. And when they don't have the ball, when they don't have the ball and they're trying to defend, there's no difference. And another thing as well is, it takes no sort of skill to take a mark or, anything. Like a mark, for example, is probably the best example. The amount of times I kicked it forward, and Tom Papley would take a mark on his opponent because Tom Papley has better overall rating than him and a better marking statistic. I wasn't even holding the triangle button to take a mark half the time. He would just take the mark. So if I'm sitting there, one, dominating games because the team won't actually defend me in the hardest difficulty, there's no reward in it. Two, there's not even that much skill in the game because when I kick it to a player, they're going to take the mark if you're playing against a worse team. So I was playing against the Gold Coast in the career because that's who Sydney played in round 1. I was just dominating them because I would just kick it down there, and Franklin or Papley would take the mark because their ratings were higher. Yes, they should be beating their opponents on regular occasion, but there should be some sort of contest. There should be some sort of challenge. It shouldn't just be, oh, well, his rating's better, so he obviously wins it every time. No, that doesn't make for fun gameplay. It doesn't make for any sort of challenge. I don't get how people are sitting there and saying this game is good. If there's any sort of really good part of the game. The best part I've found of the game so far was the creator stadium mode. Like, I thought that was actually quite cool. Like, you can go in there and make your own stadium and that sort of stuff, name it, and change all kinds of things. I thought that was actually really good. Like, it was actually creative. That's something unique that they've added to the AFL game. I know it's very similar to the Cricket 22 game, I believe, like the simulator. But that's probably the best thing I've found in this game so far. Now, I know there's going to be a patch, so hopefully they fix a lot of the bugs with the game. But the overall gameplay needs to be fixed as well. They need to make the difficulty a lot more than just having the team have the ball attackingly, moving the ball with his attack, and just moving it quicker. But on defense, they do absolutely nothing. Like, that's not how... I know, I'm sorry, I'm bringing up FIFA, but for example, on the PlayStation Store right now, the game costs $99.95 on the PlayStation Store. And for people on PS5 who don't have the disc drive, we have to pay $100 for the game. We can't do any other thing other than that. So, I had to pay $100 for this game. If you're making me pay $100, give me a $100 game. Don't give me a game that's half-baked. I'm sorry I keep on bringing up half-baked, but people will be like, oh, but they're a smaller company. Hey, bro, if you bought a $200 cake, you'd want it cooked, wouldn't you? You wouldn't want it half-cooked and then eating flour and egg. Alright? This is ridiculous that we're accepting the fact that this game, just because it was made by smaller developers with smaller amount of budget, that they've sent out a half-baked fucking cake. I'm sorry, but that's not fair for the player base. And, like, people who bought this game, there's not many, like, content creators and that who have bought this game who are getting paid on YouTube can get it written off on tax. So it doesn't really matter for them if they're paying $100. But if some kid going home from school is paying $100 to buy a video game, I mean, that could be their allowance for a couple of weeks. That could be anything. It's ridiculous that they've made this game and they're sitting there and people are sitting there defending so many problems with it. It just baffles me because when a game, like, for example, I have another YouTube channel where I do Apex Legends and I actually get, well, YouTube pay for it. But when a patch is released for Apex Legends and it comes out buggy and, like, it's not working, people complain about it and it's a free game. And not many people defend it. But this game, just because it's made by small developers, I know, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to bash on Big Ant Studios. I understand they had to do a huge job to make this game. And look, there are things in this game that actually are quite good. But you can't release a game at $100 on the PlayStation Store and then give us this. I'm sorry, but you can't. It's rude. It's a slap in the face to the player base who have been waiting for so long for this game, and then you release this. I would rather have them delayed it almost by a year so they could get it right. And I get that games can release with bugs, but the gameplay problems, like the difficulty and stuff, and how players who have a higher player rating just win every single contest, is just not good gameplay. It's not rewarding. It's not... If you have a 65 rated player on your team, let's just say, and they kick a goal for you, or you know, they have a good game, you know, because you gave them a good amount of gameplay or whatever. I know I sound like I'm rambling, but this is what this video is, so deal with it. But, you know, you feel rewarded if your team is like the Gold Coast Suns and you're playing against Collingwood and you win, you know? Or, you know, because they're a harder team. But if you play an easier team and you just demolish them by 100 points, you know, that's fine if you're playing well. But if they're not even coming at you to defend, which I don't get why. I'm not seeing anyone talk about this. The defense on this game is stupid. It doesn't do anything. I won't go too much further because I've been ranting for 10 minutes and I think I'm covering the same things. But at this stage, I'm very disappointed with the way it's released. Hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, they send out a couple of patches and they fix a lot of the problems. But my main issue with the game at the moment is the gameplay. The fact is, if you're playing against a worse team, you don't have any sort of you don't really have any sort of challenge. I played it on the hardest difficulty on day one, and I haven't played an AFL game since AFL Evolution came out, so probably like 2 or 3 years. I came into this game and beat it on hardest difficulty in 2 games. Once I learned the controls, I was pretty well set. So why would I want to? Where's the replayability value in this game if there's no challenge involved? I guess that's why they brought in the pro teams. But I'm not going to come back to this game in pro teams and, for example, paying money for a player, like a player card, like Tom Papley. I know I keep on mentioning him, but Tom Papley. Why would I spend money on this game and get Tom Papley, one of my favourite players, if the game is got no sort of gameplay value otherwise? Like, there's got to be other things to play in this game, and at the moment it's really just either play now or season, and that's fine at launch, but you've got to make it something to be worth to play. There's got to be some sort of challenge, there's got to be some sort of playable value or replayable value for the players. Now, I know I've been ranting for 10 minutes, and I'm sure there would be people who are angry at me, and I'm sorry. I get that people want to defend the smallest studio, but I mean, they're the biggest one in Australia. They're not that small in Australia compared to gaming. All right, they should have done a better job, and I'm sorry that's a bad thing to say, but the way this game has launched day one, it has been poor, and we should as a consumer base be able to say that, because it's released terribly. And I've seen so many people defend it. Oh, if it wasn't for the bugs, this game would actually be good. There's other problems with this game. The gameplay is borderline terrible, because there is no replay about it. I've played 2 games. I've thrashed the 2 teams that I played, and then I played against Melbourne to see if it would be a little bit harder. And it was a little bit harder to play against a team that was like Melbourne. I think they're the highest rated team. But it wasn't like a huge challenge. So why would I come on this game in 3 days' time and just continually flog teams by 80 points because my skill's higher? There's no point. But anyway, thank you for watching today, guys. I hope you understand where I'm coming from, and all I want for this game is it to be good. I want it to be good, because and the thing is as well, if they wanted to, a game is actually a good way to market to a wider audience, let's say outside of Australia. I think it's a great way. I think that's how I got into actually soccer, was through playing FIFA. I actually got into the soccer in real life. So I think this would be a great way to bring this game to the wider world audience, because you don't sit them down and make them watch 3 hours worth of footy in their first time. No one's going to do that. But they could come and play a game and see how the game plays, and it could be good. But the way it's currently at, it's not marketable to anyone except for people who are diehard footy fans in Australia. And the way it is, I think it's just very poor how it's released on day one. Again, I hope they fix it, because I really had high hopes for this game. But the fact is, I've had $100 for this game, and I feel like I've been ripped off. I feel like someone just stole $100 from me, because it's ridiculous. But yeah, again, thanks for watching, guys. Like you can see, there's a stream here. I will be streaming the Carlton-Brisbane game tomorrow. If you guys want to check it out, then come along. If you guys have had better experiences with the game, make sure to let me know down below. Again, I didn't want to sound this like a hate video. I just wanted it to sound like I'm very disappointed, and maybe it did come off a little bit hateful, and I'm sorry, but I just wanted to give my opinions on this game so far. And the fact is that there's more problems in this game rather than just the bugs. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you next time.